just talk about it live. So Tina's with us. Tina has her as a management company in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa, based in Des Moines, Iowa, that she founded, and we're going to talk a little bit about. Well, first of all, tell us a little about the company, when you guys originally started, the types of real estate that you guys manage right now, and then we'll expand on that.
Okay. Yeah, so I started in property management 25 years ago as a leasing agent and have been pretty much in every position. In 2017, I decided that I no longer wanted to work for somebody, so I got my broker's license and opened the management company with one person in 2019, and now we have 80 employees on our payroll. We do manage through 3 different states in the Midwest: Iowa, Kansas, Missouri. We have about 4,500 units now, and we mainly own and manage workforce housing.
And 4,500 units. What would be your projected growth? Like what's your goal over the next 5 years to grow to?
So in 3 years we grew 4,400 units. So hopefully we can triple or quadruple that.
At least that.
Yeah. Yep.
So talk a little bit about it is far more difficult to operate a management company at a smaller scale than a larger scale.
Yes.
You don't have
Definitely.
levels of middle management for maintenance. How do you grow a company successfully as you have from an acorn to 4,500, 5,000 units?
Definitely you have to be open to change, of course, but I think it's using some of the systems in place that the apartment industry puts for you. So like we use some compliance dashboards, HR dashboards. We utilize third-party companies to help us, and then we focus on what we're good at, which is the operations, with our regional managers and on-site teams.
Is there anything in particular in terms of the tech stack that you would that's been more important, more critical to your success than others?
I would say on that note, like our property management software that we use, it's an all-in-one. The less logins people have, the more they're going to use stuff, right? So we have about 3 platforms that are really our go-tos. Got it.
And the management, the oversight of a 4,500 unit portfolio, is that all regional managers? Do you have a whole cadre of regional managers, or are you at a scale where you have like a director of operations who handles all of that? Like, when do you start segmenting into regions?
Right. So I think some of that's going to be on your scale that you were talking about. We have some smaller communities. We're now looking to just manage the larger communities so that we can then scales of economy, right? So we can have less people, but we do have, for our 4,500 units, we have a vice president of operations, we have 3 regional managers, and that's because we have to, they're not by our corporate office, so we try to have them local just to be on the sites.
Got it. And all of this is, you have a mix. Most is, we'll call third-party managed.
Correct.
But some is owned and managed, owned
Correct.
and operated. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there, directionally, are you hoping to expand the third-party business, or are you hoping to do more on develop more owned assets?
So a little bit of both, but for me, my passion is the management. So I have ownership in some properties, but my focus would be growing the management company. My partners that I have now in the management company, as we grew and merge with them, they will do more of the buying on that side. And I'll do a deal here or there when it comes along. I've had some conversions that I've done in the Des Moines market just lately, actually.
Conversions like what?
So in 2019, going back a little bit, I graduated from the American Institute of Business in Des Moines in 2000. Geez. And I actually, in 2019, we bought the college and then turned the dorms into multifamily housing. So it's 93 units, and today we're pretty much 100% occupied there. So that was a really good fun development story to add to my career, I guess, the portfolio. And then...
What do you mean you bought the college?
So bought the college. It was a great story. It was donated to the state of Iowa. They weren't able to run the college anymore. I think a lot of stuff went online, paperless, things like that. And so my partner and I put in a bid and bought it from the state of Iowa.
Wow.
It was an incredible project. We sold off some of the parcels. There were obviously the classrooms and things like that have now been sold, and there's businesses operating in those. We kept just the dorms, which were set up as apartments, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, and did a value add to that. So we put in about $6,500 a unit, and now again it's full, and it was a great project.
Your value add was 65. Your value add budget was $6,500 a unit.
For interior, yes. The whole project was about 1.5 is what we invested into it additionally.
That's a pretty healthy value add budget.
It is, yes,
Yeah.
yes, and we did local financing, so we it was a big risk. Lightning struck, and there we were. So it was, again, just an awesome project to have. I have a great partner on that one too.
I'm just curious. I love projects like this. Early on in my career, I worked for a company in Los Angeles that did a lot of adaptive reuse in downtown Los Angeles. For example, one of the most successful projects I was involved with was the repurposing of the Standard Oil building, which had been a vacant office building for a number of years before it was redeveloped into 122 units of luxury housing, multifamily housing. So I love those stories. And at Aimco, we had huge portfolios of adaptive reuse in downtown LA. So the idea of taking a college and looking at those buildings that could become residential,
right,
versus those that could. That's been a very interesting pro forma. How do you look? Are you in the active market right now, looking for deals? You said you'd like to acquire, but that's not your side of the business.
I'm more passive in that. So if a deal comes along that one of my partners is interested in, then we'll work on it together. They're probably a little bit more aggressive than I am, just because, again, I want to do the management side of it. And usually it just depends on how it works out with who's going to do the rezoning and some of those things. Who do we know that can help us and things like that.
Can I ask about the Iowa market?
Sure.
As an Iowan, as a former Iowan, I grew up in Burlington, Iowa. Iowa has been, I think, a net exodus of people leaving the state. As a real estate operator, how do you think about investing in a market where, unlike, say, like a Phoenix, right, or Dallas, which always seems to have an influx of people, like you can't go wrong.
Right.
How do you make strategic decisions in Des Moines, Iowa, about that's worthy of $6,500 a unit?
I think it's what you said. People flock to Des Moines, people flock to Dallas, they flock to Phoenix. But to me, they are coming to Iowa. So you have some that are leaving, and then you've got others coming back. I think they leave for college, they start their family, they want to move back to the Midwest. And we do different levels of workforce housing. So it doesn't worry me at all, because somebody is always looking for that next step up in apartment before they purchase a home, or things happen, cutbacks happen, and they're looking for that another price level. In the Midwest, our cost of living is what I would say is average, and I will say I do not do any A+ properties. That would worry me personally. I can't speak for any of my partners on that, but we do try to do the workforce housing and do the value add with it.
Got it. And is there an amenity mix? Is there a service mix that's different now that you think solve for than it was prior to COVID?
I don't know about prior to COVID, but like if your communities aren't pet friendly, I feel like that's going to do a disservice, quite frankly, to your property. Again, my opinion on that, and I don't have any pets, but I just, from the renter side of it, that's what we see. It brings in a ton of income for us on the pet side. So that would be one thing. And then also, with your question in regards to COVID, is what do we have outdoor related? So bike storages and things like that is what we try to go ahead and make sure that everybody knows, like, where we're at on the bike paths and things like that. Des Moines is doing a lot of development of parks and their natural resources and things like that too. So
you, as a result, not the same pressure to have those amenities on site, because you have in the surrounding environs parks and such.
Correct. Like the college where that was, it's called the Village at Grays Lake now, but Grays Lake, the city has put a phenomenal amount of money in there just to make that area amazing compared to what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Okay. Switching gears a little bit on you.
Yes.
What do you, as a smaller operator, I don't know if you I don't know what SMB is in this business, maybe somewhere probably about 2,000 to 8,000 units maybe. As an operator in that class, what are you looking for in terms of innovation and technology to help you do your job better?
Anything that I can do for my phone. So, but I would say...
Because you're mobile all the time, or why are you so mobile focused?
So, I am mobile all the time. However, I can run the company from my phone. I can do property management software. I can do our compliance dashboards. I can do everything on our applicant tracking. So everything is through my phone. So if a company has a platform that will help us manage better and more efficiently, then that's what I want. So I arrived in San Diego on Sunday, and I got out my laptop for about 5 minutes because I had something saved on there that I needed.
Yeah.
So, I think our employees want that. Our team members want that too. They want the efficiencies. It's just getting them to buy into that and actually trying it so they see all the benefits of it.
Well, counterintuitively, because I agree with you, counterintuitively, this industry I think has really struggled with how to handle mobile devices, because if you're using a PMS system on a mobile device, you have the opportunity to have personal resident information on a device that then you need to make sure doesn't go with somebody if they're terminated or they quit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's these challenges that have made companies really reticent to sort of officially distribute devices. But how have you guys solved for that?
So we are just prepared. If something happens, an employee is terminated, we have a plan where we cut everything off like right away, because all you have to do is it would take me 2 seconds to go in and delete somebody's login. And then they're not going to have any access to that once they're out of the system. And it's partnering with those companies that offer that to make sure that that's how they work their data as well on that. So I think we have not had any issues, but we just have a very a set checklist of this is what has to happen in the event of this. Again, 25 years, but mainly paperless for the last 12, and have not had an issue. I shouldn't say that, but we haven't. And I think it's much better than what if somebody comes into the office and takes all the paper copies or something like that too. So it can go either way. It's just how you spin it and what you put in place to make sure other things don't happen. That's
pretty amazing, paperless for 12 years.
Yes. I don't know how much time we have, Daniel, but I had a baby in 2017 when I closed my first property, which was 97 units. Started doing a water bill back on it, had an exit of maybe 20 to 30 residents. And I did everything from home with my baby in hand, because I could respond to guest cards and things like that at 2 a.m. And within 2.5 months, I had everything leased up, and it was fine. And I, maybe went to the property a couple times a week for a half hour. So it was virtual leasing before virtual leasing was a thing.
Yeah, you led the charge.
I'd like to say I did, but it's a story I often share to also let our team members know, like, change is good. Just try it. People will welcome that. They want to be able to save time as well if they're coming to look at your community or something. So,
as brave words from somebody in the industry that tends not to feel that way. Often, like, leading change is difficult for a lot of folks, and because people, this is just the way they've done things, and real estate is an industry that's ensconced in tradition and old school. I think that is, and it just another short little sidebar. So we just recently, my partner and I from the college, we bought a hotel and made it into an apartment community as well. And it's along with what you're saying, you have to have the vision. So other people will look at the deal and they're so set in how they underwrite things, or, you have to have this and you have to do this. And we just went into it open-minded, and everybody can see the vision of it, and it's really coming together nicely. So it was 112 units. We closed March 1st, and we are almost done with all 112 unit renovations, and that's in a tough market where we're, struggling to get supplies and things. And we've just got a few units left, and we're about 30% occupied right now. Wow. I know we just have a few seconds left, but I'm curious about that. How do you handle in a hotel to residential conversion? How do you handle kitchens, that sort of thing.
So they were suites. So they had full kitchens in them.
They already did.
So that was a good, starting point for us. So it was a basic rehab in them, and there wasn't the kitchen conversion. Sorry.
All right. Well, I'm beginning. You're painting a picture here, Tina, of change is good. You think out of the box in terms of your real estate development and acquisition strategy. So it's not a surprise. You're at the forefront of thinking about technology and that you're mobile first. Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us a little bit. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll let you get back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll pick up again with our next guest here momentarily. Thanks for joining us.